Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late. This is Katrina, Sow and Tare. You are in the right place. I was outside and it was rainy, and Rigatoni had a date with Percy. So there we go. That is where I was, and my hair is awesome. Have my light on. This is a great light. My dad got it for me. And there you go. All right. Let me finish getting situated and we'll start talking. Let's get us plugged in, pointing in the right direction, get some light. All right. I hope you guys are all having a great day. We had rain start, which is good. And we have a big storm hitting Thursday. So should be a windy storm, which is always concerning, but it'll be a big storm. I have stuff behind here. Let's see if I can do this. All right. We're here with funky hair. Uh-oh, I just clicked something. What did I click? I can't see your comments. There's your comments. All right. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare. I'm about to sneeze. Maybe. Excuse me. Okay, I am back. Yeah, so like I said, Rigatoni is the bunny, and she and Mr. Percy, which is the buck, just had a date. So checking them tomorrow morning. I did not check Ravioli this morning because Ravioli and Percy had 3 dates, and I just didn't feel like checking her this morning. I'm going to assume she's pregnant after 3 dates. For those who don't know, rabbits know when they're pregnant or when they think they're pregnant. And after about 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours, they know they're pregnant. And if they are pregnant or feel they are pregnant, they will have no interest in the male. So it's kind of sad because the last date is always a rejection. Poor little Percy, but it's all right. All right, let's see who's here. Erica's here. Good evening, all. Good evening, Erica. Erica is a member of the channel, Katrina's Kids. Erica, check out the Facebook group. I did an invite for you. And this is members only Facebook, and I'm going to write down what it is. So if you are a member, join this Facebook group. It's an invite. I know Erica specifically I did invite to. And then if I don't already have you on Facebook, any of the members, go ahead and go to that and let me know what your YouTube name is, if it's different than what your Facebook name is. And anyway, so I put together a Facebook group, and that is for the membership only. The membership is super cheap, guys. It's super cheap. Anyway, we are making on Sunday, the 21st, so the Sunday before Christmas. Is that this next Sunday, guys? It is, isn't it? Where's my calendar? There's the calendar. Yeah, so this coming Sunday. And we're going to do a cookie exchange. So Christmas cookies, whatever. If you don't do Christmas, that's fine. You can do other kind of cookie. And we are going to make all of our cookies next Sunday. We're going to start noon 30 Pacific time. That is 12:30 p.m. noon 30. And the only rule is, I don't know if it's the only rule, but the rule for this time is that it can't be like refrigerated overnight. Like we want to make it all in the same day. There's a lot of recipes that are great that need to use your refrigerator overnight or do these different things. But it'll be fun. We're going to make eggnog, and PJ, who's also a member here, I haven't seen if she's on her yet or not. PJ posted on that Facebook group the recipe for eggnog. I am going to do a non-alcoholic version. So there's a recipe out of this book that I will put on there as well. And so you'll have the option of either of those. And I've already put my ingredient list together. We are making mice on snow, which I do actually have a recipe. I do have a video for. But they're super cute. They are. It looks like a mouse, and the not a creature stirring, not even a mouse. Like that's anyway. It's fun. So those ingredients are there. PJ has a recipe there. I haven't looked at it today, so I don't know if anybody else has recipe up. But join us, and it'll be fun. All right. I guess I should put up. Well, I'll see. Verna or Steve may have already put up the link to join. But anyway, let's continue. Verna's here, Vay's Place, with a little wrench in blue. And that is Verna. And she has a channel on YouTube, and she does live chat every Saturday morning and Wednesday evening. So check out her stuff. She does homesteading in small scale in her apartment. All right, welcome. Oh, Verna, I don't know why, but when on your shorts, like your winter stuff, on your shorts, if I look at it on my phone, then I can't comment, and I don't know why. Anyway, I'm sure it's not you. I'm sure it's YouTube, because I don't know how to fix it on my own. All right. Erica wants to know how much snow did you get? I'm guessing she's talking to Verna, because we didn't get any snow. We haven't gotten any snow. We've only gotten down to freezing a few times. By this time last year, we had snow. So, yeah. All right. Close to 5 inches at Verna's place. And Erica says we got cold enough last night for the hose to freeze. That's exciting. Oh, man. Warmest time yet today. 24 degrees at Verna's. It was fairly warm here. And Erica got up to 40. Oh, my gosh. -1 is what's going to get to you, Verna. Goodness. Howie's here, food forest permaculture. Good evening, Howie. Are you getting hit with a bunch of rain? I don't know how far inland you are, but hopefully you're doing well. I know at least Washington got hit, and I'm guessing part of Canada as well, but I know Washington for sure got hit. Yeah. Okay, Erica sent me a message. Got it. I have not seen it yet. Jacob is a member as well. Jacob, welcome. He's on that Facebook group. Hello all, he says. All right, welcome. Everybody's saying hi. Oh. Food Forest Permaculture says, my name is Earthling Howie, wherever I am. Earthling Howie, got it. All right, thumbs up. Food Forest says, absolutely. Put that thumb up. Thank you for the link, Verna. All right, Howie's on Vancouver Island. Yeah, so that's you probably are getting slammed with it, aren't you? He says lots of rain and then sun, really warm t-shirt weather. Okay, so you're done with rain, maybe? The next storm is hitting Oregon more than Washington, but I think the last part of it's going to be going up. So I don't know if it's going to get up to you or not. Farmel's here. Good evening to you. All right. Steve's here. Welcome, Steve. Steve is another moderator in blue with a wrench, and he has quail. Greetings from the frozen tundra of the South. Oh no, are you getting cold? Do you have the 4-letter word? I'm sorry. Hey, all my appliances came, and the refrigerator, the door is just as cold on the outside as the inside. So I called them like, I don't think this is normal. You get 48 hours to call them from when they deliver to like bring up any problems. I'm like, is this a problem? They're like, we're going to send you a new one. I'm like, okay. So we will see what happens with that. Because yeah, I can open up the refrigerator and put like the back of my hands on the inside of that door and the outside of the door at the same temperature. I'm like, okay. All right. Verna says, well done. Oh, I thought you said well done, but you're saying, well, done with dinner. I was like, well done, dinner. Good job. Now you can really pay attention. All right. All right. Are you done eating all of your quail that you found? She found quail in her freezer. That's awesome. Oh, no 4-letter words at Steve's. Just burr cold. Yeah, we're not getting burr cold for a while. It's supposed to, I think next week it might be dropping down. But I don't know if I trust that. Things seem to be like just shifting so quickly. I hope we do get some rain. We got rain most of the day today. I didn't check the rain gauge yet, but we got rain most of the day today, and so that was nice. Yeah, yeah. Um, Berta, language. What to say with that one? Jacob says just loaded the freeze dryer up with quail eggs. Awesome. I believe I still have quail eggs powdered. I need to get them out and start using them. Yeah. Cold is another 4-letter word. Absolutely, Erica. He's talking about the one that starts with an S, though, and ends with a W. Verna is saying to Jacob, you scrambled them up, right? Yeah. Egg whites do fine. Egg yolks do not. And so people scramble them, and that makes it better. It breaks up something to make it usable in there. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gearing up for our Christmas cookie and oh yeah, an eggnog little party. And it's funny, next year, let's do it a week earlier so that I can bring them to the holiday thing in town. Because on Saturday, not Sunday, on Saturday, um, the uh, the community organization I'm a part of, we are going to have Santa come and all the kids go home with a toy, and we have cookies and hot chocolate, and there's going to be a parade. We're not involved in that, but we're coordinating with, and it's a lot of fun. So it would be better next year because I'm going to be making Christmas cookies during the week now. Maybe on Saturday. But yeah, but maybe let's next year back it up a week. All right. Jacob says, yes, I did get that from me a while ago, and it's been working great. What's been working great? The freeze dryer? I don't know what your comment was about, but good. I'm glad it's working great. Steve says it's the protein in the yolk. Is it the protein, or is it like a coating of something? I don't remember, because protein works. I mean, like, protein as in like, milk has protein in it and meat has protein in it and all that. So anyway, yeah, the secret is to scramble it. Okay, so Steve says Jacob says he scrambles on Verna's instructions previously. Got it. Erica says Lucas says hello, Katrina. He sends kisses. Well, send him kisses right back. Maybe not the doggy kiss kind though. All right, Verna says 2 tablespoons of powdered eggs to 2 tablespoons of water equals 1 large egg. And by what she's saying large egg, she means large chicken egg. Yep. The tip. Yes, that's the tip. Joy's here. Hello, all from Western Oregon. Joy, did you get slammed? Did you get slammed with all this water? I saw videos of Tillamook. I don't remember where you are in relation to that, but I know you're north of me. I hope everybody's doing okay over there. I really do. Mostly hit Washington, but northwestern Oregon also got hit pretty good. So I hope you're doing well. Not as bad as that. Good. Okay, Verna says it's the coating around the yolk that needs to be broken and mixed with the whites. Okay. Yeah, I didn't remember why. I just remembered kind of that. Minor flooding at Joy's. All right. Well, I don't need super flooding like last year. What I do need is I would like to see enough rain at a non-dumping level to see my French drain working. I think that would be great. Just because I want to see it working, and like it's so exciting, this thing in the ground that nobody sees, which I will have a video on at some point. I need to actually do that. I was hoping to show you guys it working, but I thought it would have happened by now. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yep. Um, yeah. Oh, and then the organization that's kind of localish around here helping people with flood stuff was able to pay for part of the French drain, which is really, really cool. I did not think, I didn't think that was even going to be a thing. I just went in to report the issues that my property was having when we were trying to get FEMA help last year. I mean, there's people's houses that flooded last year. Like it was bad here last year. And the city said, the more people that can come in, doesn't matter if it's minor, come in, fill out the paperwork, get all that, because the more people that we have come in with issues, the more likelihood FEMA will give some money. And we still haven't gotten any money from FEMA, but luckily we do have some local groups, regional groups that were able to get money for people. And like, I totally didn't expect to get a phone call from them. Late summer is when I got the phone call and like, hey, have you done this yet? Because if you haven't, we might be able to give you some funding. I'm like, oh, so they partially paid for it. So very cool. Very cool. And I'm glad that it hadn't been done by then. But that is a reminder to people, even if you don't have very much damage when there is a natural disaster, report it, because number one, it helps out the community because the community could potentially get more support. And then also, hey, your issue might be addressed down the line. But for me, it was mostly going in to support other people because, I knew I was going to put it in anyway, but didn't expect anybody to help pay for it. Anyway, that's cool. But it did rain most of the day today. So, yeah, minor flooding at Joy's. All right. Yeah. So, bunnies are good. Their nest boxes went in this weekend for penne and risotto, and penne was kind of just wanting some pets today, but risotto wanted a lot of pets today and a lot of scratchies today. So I think she's getting her love her mama love hormones going, I think. Yeah, so they should be giving birth day 27. When I say day 27, I say it for the earliest rabbit, and sometimes I don't remember which one's the earliest rabbit. I just put them in the same day because they're so close. So day 27 was Saturday. So Sunday's 28, today's 29, tomorrow's 30. So between tomorrow and Wednesday should be baby bunny time. Maybe another day too. So that's going to be cool. Watch out for that. And then ravioli and rigatoni got rebred this weekend and today, so we'll be checking rigatoni tomorrow morning. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. These other baby bunnies, I am going to do some repairs to the rabbit tractor. Uh, all of the babies that currently exist outside of mommy's are going to go into one rabbit tractor, the larger one. So I'm not going to keep them separate. I'm keeping track of their feed so that I know um, how much feed, how much it costs me per rabbit to raise. And so it's going to be very easy since one litter is 6 and one litter is 9. Having or not 9. One litter is 6 and one litter is 3. Total is 9, and that's a perfect amount for the larger tractor. So that will be. I have some repairs to do on that, and they'll be going out in like week and a half, 2 weeks. So yeah, week and a half about. I need to do that this weekend apparently. Um anyway, totally uh totally fine. They'll be great. They are pretty small right now, but they do grow so fast, guys. They grow so fast. So I will be after they are out, I will be making another rabbit tractor. I'm gonna do one more, maybe 2 more right now, but I want to at least do one more um, so that I'm prepared for Penne and Risotto's babies because judging by the size of Penne, her babies are going to take up one by themselves. That's my prediction. Um, and Risotto's not quite as large, but she still has a poof on either side of her when she lays down. So I will be making at least one more, and then I'll have my little half one that really just go the full 8x4. But I will be doing a video on that. Okay. Verna says, made my special cheese mixture just before you started. What is your special cheese? Is it a dip or what is your cheese mixture? I want to know. I like cheese, except for blue cheese. Earthling Howie says bacon cheese pizza in the oven. Awesome. I haven't made pizza in a long time. That sounds good. So if you have quail eggs, about 4 minutes before it's done, pull it out and crack some quail eggs, but only after you've made a divot, because otherwise they'll go, and then you'll have to clean your oven. But they are super, super good on pizza. But you do have to kind of make a place for the egg to go. I don't remember exactly how much time, like probably 4 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes before it's done. Yeah. Yeah, you love pizza, so easy to make. Yeah, and actually I didn't have a good pizza dough recipe for a long time. And finally I got one from one of my old coworkers when I was in Illinois. Better make sure I still have it, right? We should do pizza at one of our Cook With Me lives. Where are my breads? There's my breads. Yeah, pizza dough. I don't even know what book it's from. It's just a photocopy. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I still had it. I have this binder that my mom made me. When she gave it to me, it was empty. But when I do a recipe, I tend to take it out and put it up on my little holder, and then I always forget to put them back in. So there we go. Oh my gosh! Never admit the blue cheese. That blue cheese is nasty. Moldy cheese. No, I don't. I don't. I know, Verna. You know this about me. Okay. Steve says I make pizza. I do it homemade. I go broke on the toppings. Yes. Yep. That is the reason for pizza is the toppings, in my opinion. And also, like when you do homemade breads, you like when I do this recipe over here, I can add you can add herbs or garlic or whatever to the bread part of the pizza. Yeah. Okay, Verna says 2 blocks cream cheese, 10 cloves garlic, 4-ounce blue cheese, and I can admit it, blend together. So I'm guessing that's a dip. Except for the blue cheese, it sounds good. Yeah. I don't like most good things. I like good things. I like good things. Howie says, I put whatever I have, olives, bacon, pineapple, parsley, lots of different cheese, peppers, onions, garlic, oregano, and list is endless. It sounds good except for the onions. Yeah. Now I want pizza, guys. Yeah. Okay, for the cheese thing, you can form in a ball, pipe it into shells, or use as a spread. Does anybody make the cheese balls? I used to work for a place in Illinois that every year I used to. I worked there two seasons. But somebody would bring in like a cheese ball this big, and it was coated in like sliced almonds, but I'm sure it was the fake cheese too. But it was a mixture of cheese, and they always had like a sleeve of Ritz crackers with it. It was very good. Totally bad for you, probably. Tommy's here. Howdy, Earthlings. Howdy, Tommy, the Aquatic News Network. Welcome, welcome. All right. All right. How did your turbidity experiment go? Didn't you do that a long time ago? I haven't talked to you in a while. He was measuring turbidity in a creek, river, something. Yeah, how did that go? And I'm not sending anybody catalpa leaves because I don't feel like picking them up. Plus, they're no longer crunchy. They're gonna be wet and yucky now. Oh boy. Brenna says, "Oh, gonna get a bit of cheese and crackers." You know what? You do that. You do that. It has to be Ritz too, right? Ritz or wheat thins. Like crackers to me is one of those things that, going brand name is where it's at. You get those off-brand crackers, and it's just doesn't make it. Not like that with a lot of things, but for some things, it's true. All right. Adam's here. Welcome, Adam. Only time I can deal with blue cheese is with hot wings. Ranch just doesn't do it. I'll take ranch. I'll take ranch. I used to put ranch on a lot of different things. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, club crackers are also good, but it has to be the club cracker, not the fake club cracker, right? It's buttery. What is a wassa cracker? I've heard of this. I probably do know what this is. Let me look it up. We're just talking food, guys. Who's hungry? Oh, I am not a fan of those. Crisp bread primarily from whole grain like rye. I do like rye. Okay. And I'm not really a whole big fan of that kind. I mean, I'll probably eat it depending on what you put on it, right? Sometimes it's just a vessel for delivery of whatever is on it. Oh, they're from Germany? I don't really know German food, I guess. What is German food? Brats German food? They're okay, depending on what's in them. I don't know. My dad's here. Welcome, welcome. Got up to 68 today, then 0.1 inch of rain. That is a 10th inch of rain, which is a really big deal for where he lives in the high desert. We have a wind advisory with about 1 inch of rain for tomorrow and Wednesday. So are you getting, is that coming down from Washington to you? I think that might be what's happening. Because our storm doesn't get here supposedly until Thursday. So 1 inch of rain is big deal. So those that don't know, so my parents are in Central Oregon, and Central Oregon is high desert. And I remember one year, it was a low rain year. we had 4 inches of precipitation the whole year. That's not normal. I don't know exactly what normal is, but 0.1, that's 10th, is a pretty good rain. 1 inch, you're going to have some carved out rivulets. Riverets. How do you say that? Little mini rivers. Yeah. Goodness. All right. Adam says hello to everybody. He's been creeping in the background. That's all right. You come forth now. We know you're here. How are you doing? All right. Steve likes Wassa cracker, the thick ones, not the thin ones. I did not know there was thin ones. Saying hi, my dad. Howie says, I put soft cheese on it with herbs and onions from the garden. Leave it for 10 minutes so the cracker gets a little soft. Why are you trying to make crackers soft? Isn't that like a biscotti? Hey, that's all right. If you like it, it's good. More for you. More for you. The rain is coming from the sky. That's from my dad. Okay, average precipitation here is about 7 inches. I didn't know what the average was. Yeah. Yep. Does John need to make swales? Actually, when they had a leach field put in, I don't remember how long ago that was, but they actually did dig uphill of it. It's just like a little, like literally that deep, just so that it would direct water around it. But yeah, what's a swale? A swale is the little trench behind your leach field. That would be a swale. That's what he's talking about, at least. There are definitions for swales depending on which agency you are talking about, but that's what he's talking about. How he's checking on the pizza. Did you bring enough for all of us? Okay, so Steve's talking about a different kind of swale. So the swale that is there currently, say that four times fast. Swale. That's more than 4 times. Yeah, so I believe what Steve is, so what's there currently, just it starts at an undetermined place. I don't know why they started it. I mean, it is determined, but I don't know why. And then it goes around and just directs the flow, and then like they stop digging. What you can do with a swale in a dry climate is, so the purpose of that swale is to move water away from something. The purpose of the swale that I believe, Steve, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is talking about is to catch the water and then have it soak in. So if you're in a dry area and you have a tree, you may catch that water and have it soak in next to a tree. Like not like right here, but there's a swale, and then here's the regular land. Here's a swale, and then there's a berm. And on that berm, you plant the trees, and in that swale, it holds the water. Oftentimes, they'll put wood chips in there so that it retains the water even more, and all of that. So, yeah, if you wanted to change stuff, you could do that, but that's not what's going to happen. I can tell you that. All right. Yeah, swales are very interesting. They're interesting to it's an interesting way to promote change on a landscape. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing in my food forest area, but it's not going to be exactly swales, but I probably will have wood chip areas, which will act kind of like swales. I'm still playing around with what's going to happen. It is on a slope, so yeah, it diverts it to the neighbor's property. Don't say that too loudly. People get in arguments because of that. You're not going to have that much rain. I don't think it goes onto their property. I think it ends before their property. In any case, they're friends with them. In fact, last time I was there, they showed up at the back door. Anyway, so I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with the food forest. It is on a slope, and I've been playing with things in my head about what, like how planting would work or will work. And I'm also playing with felling the trees on the property and keeping everything on the property. I would have to probably either rent or buy, probably buy. Not really. A chipper that would chip the branches and then have the logs be somewhat like creating a berm or creating a terrace like thing. That's kind of what I'm looking at doing, except for it would decompose and make good soil eventually. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing, and it's going to be interesting. All right. Steve says to redirect and to retain the water. Yes, you described it well with the berms. Yep. Yeah, it's a pretty well-known permaculture thing to do in areas that are not wet. And really areas that are wet, you can do a similar thing, and anything that you can do it so that at a certain gradient, it will overspill that area and move to the next area. Water is a very interesting thing to learn about, how it works and just kind of where the natural flow is, where it wants to go, and then what happens between here and there. Is it soaking in? Is it just surface running and all of that? So it's pretty interesting. Adam says, I think swales are a catch-22 here in Southern Oregon. Too wet in winter with our clay soils, but I see the benefits during our dry summers. Yeah, so that's exactly it. I mean, especially like, so where I am, we get fog, right? There's some summer rain, but not too much as far as I know. I've only been here 1.5 summers, right? But we do get fog, and whatever you can catch the fog on is a good thing. And if the ground remains moist, that's worth keeping moist. And that's where things like wood chips come in. Wood chips I've used in a dry environment. And in a dry environment, they do really, really well for fruit trees and stuff because it's like a sponge. As long as your plants aren't planted in the wood chips, and there's wood chips, kind of nearby that their roots can go towards, then they won't get too wet. But it's like a sponge. The wood chips will soak in the water and then time release it, basically. So when I was in Gilroy, California, there was so I did a video on, I was composting in my pathways, which are wood chips. And basically I would just put the wood chips there and then scrape back the top layer, and it's compost. And so what I started doing is I had my grow out rabbits in their grow out hutch, and I would bury their poo in this pathway, and it would disappear. It would disappear in, I don't remember, a couple months. I don't even know what manure is in the name. If you guys want to find it, I don't know if you care to find it or not, but I think manure is in the name. It's the part 2. But in that situation, I started to dig up the pathway, but the first time, like, oh, well, I can just, I can compost it here, put it underneath, cover it back up, no flies, no anything like that, with the covered one. And so doing that, when I dug up the wood chips, which were, this deep, it was amazing because it was in the middle of summer and I got that far down and it was moist. It was like there's water. I'm like, that is amazing. And so that's why I think humidifier needs more water. We're talking about water. All right, Brenda. It was amazing to see that in the middle of summer when it hadn't rained for like 3 months or something like that. and still have moisture there that the trees were accessing. I mean, the roots would go into the pathway. And so that was pretty cool. Something I don't see here is much of a litter layer. A lot of the trees, depending on where you're on the property, you have Douglas fir, or there's some trees that drop leaves. Not very many trees that drop all their leaves. There are some. The maples do it. The Some of the oaks do it. The black oak does it. I found out the other one is likely a canyon oak, which is in the white oak family. But they don't drop their leaves. The tan oaks don't drop their leaves. Chinkapins don't drop their leaves. There's a whole bunch of things that do not drop their leaves. So you don't have a whole lot of like duff on the floor of the forest. And where the leaves do drop, they go away very quickly. They break down very quickly. There are so many mushrooms and little critters and just decomposers, little insects and bugs and everything that does not last long. And so what I believe to be true, and somebody can correct me if they know better, I believe that is because this land has been logged. I know it was logged in 94, 95. I believe it was logged before that. I believe it's been logged, probably over and over again for a while. And when you have that, what they do after logging, usually they burn. And if you burn all the duff, you burn all of that support. Now, there's a lot of fungus out there, so I believe there's a lot of mycorrhizae out there, which is the I'm going to call it the connective tissue of the forest, because I've recently made this connection with my own body and connective tissue, learning about that. But the communication that happens from the mycorrhizae in between plants and bringing nutrients back and forth between plants and all of that is pretty darn amazing. I believe it would be even more amazing if we had a duff layer. Now, people might not be familiar with duff. Duff is, so in the Midwest and probably in the East, you're going to call it litter. So it's a layer of leaves or a layer, of leaves and sticks. In the West, because we have mostly conifers, there is often a layer of like pine needles or different needle type things, and it's called duff. I think it's duff. And I've seen it where it's that thick, and that protects the earth, it protects the ground, it protects the earth, the soil from drying out, it protects the soil from if there's a fire, it has to burn that before it gets to the ground. All of these things, it's a very protective coating. And I believe, knowing that old growth Douglas fir forests have a duff layer, I believe that's something that is growing and missing from much of my property. So that's what I'm saying, is adding wood chips to that it will not be the same thing, but it will promote the same types of fungal network growth and microbiology and little buggies and stuff like that. A more healthy ecosystem for that soil layer, or the above soil level layer. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I went on a tangent. Let's see what you guys talked about. Okay. Good pizza. Awesome. Earthling Howie says, I love making soil as much as I like eating food. They go hand in hand. They do. All right. Adam says, I swear by wood chip pathways. Absolutely. Absolutely. They give me nearly a month of not watering in my ground rows when the rain stops in June. Absolutely. Yeah. I learned that in California. And I believe it can be applied here pretty darn well, even though it rains a lot. I think for the trees, maybe it just needs to be a little further away because it can rain a lot. But you're also giving it a layer of protection so you're not eroding soil away too. So yeah. Yeah, that's good to hear. That's good to hear because I know you're somewhat local to me. Verna's back. Howie says, I have hundreds of yards of wood chips on my forest floor. Great homes for microbes. Yep. Yep, Duff. Yeah, and that's so if you were to get where I used to live, I knew a couple arborists that would, trim trees and all that, and um basically was at the point sometimes when I hear chainsaw and a chipper and I go driving that direction to find out who it's there. And at least where I was, you have to pay to dump the chips at the dump. So they will literally dump the truckload at your house. And if you're, if you live here or not like way over there. And there's something called chip drop online. And I looked at it and it really is like they're just going to show up one day, whether you're there or not, and dump something, I don't know, blocking in your car or not. I've heard some bad things. I've heard some great things. So that's up to you guys to research. But if you hear a chainsaw, you hear a truck, just go out and go, hey, what's in there? Make sure it's not poison oak. Make sure you can ask them if it's clean chips, because sometimes they put garbage in their stuff. But, they should know what clean chips means. If there's any disease, if they're worth their salt, right? Worth their weight in salt, they will know what's in their truck. They'll know what species are in their truck. And the thing is, they're going to dump the whole truck. You're not going to get a wheelbarrow full. You're going to get the whole truck. But it makes mycorrhizae super fast, super fast. You let it sit there, it's going to get warm, and you can pick it up. Like you can just dig into there and it's there already. When dealing with wood chips like that, definitely wear a mask because like an N95, because you do not want to get mycorrhizae is good for plants. It's not good for lungs. And yeah, I've experienced that and gotten a cough from it before. So definitely wear a mask. But it's great for food for us. It's great for gardening. It's great for your animals. So deep litter for your animals, your aviaries, your everything. It's great for everything. Now there is a distinction between chips and leaves. So why I like the wood chips from like the arborist people, they're not discriminating. They're saying, oh, we're going to chip this tree. And the tree has both browns and greens, right? Brown is the wood and green is the leaves. And you can make bacterial dominated compost or you can make fungal dominated compost based on what you are using. And if you use both, you're going to get the benefits of both. Bacterial dominated compost is like a leaf mold. It's if you were to compost just leaves, you're going to get mostly bacteria and the good bacteria and all that. You can put that in your garden, in your garden beds. Fungal dominated compost is going to come from wood, and that is good for your food forest. So we're not putting wood chips necessarily into your garden. You can. I don't see any issue with it. People say that it steals nutrients. Unless you're mixing it in, I don't see that as being a thing. I don't. Sorry. But when you put them together and you let them mingle, you're going to get both worlds, which is good. All right. Howie says, I already said that. Steve has a definition. A duff layer is the forest floor's spongy, dark layer of partially decomposed organic material, like needles, leaves, bark, twigs, and cones, sitting above the mineral soil, acting as nature's mulch. Exactly. Um, During the dry times, isn't the duff layer that which fuels forest fires? So, yes and no. It is going to be dry, but the lower part of it is moist. So, depending on how much moisture is gotten in there, the sponge will be in the summertime. That sponge, I'm not. I have been in ponderosa forest where the duff is this deep, so I'm not exaggerating here. Like 4 or 5 inches deep. Um, the top is going to be dry, but if you take your thumb and go down to where the soil is and peel it up, that bottom layer is going to be moist. So yeah, it could burn. Um, Depending on how hot the fire is, it does either will or won't matter. If it's a super hot fire, it's going to scorch the earth anyway. If it's a surface fire, it'll just burn the top and keep moving. If it's a crown fire, you're screwed. A crown is the top of the tree. So the more important thing to look for in forest fires is ladder fuels. So I wanted to be a fire ecologist, so I actually do know about this kind of stuff. And I did create the fire ecology field trip at the High Desert Museum south of Bend. So I'm not just talking about this. Um, Trees in communities that have uh, a relationship with fire will have protection built in. So, like ponderosa trees, ponderosa forest, their bark an adult tree, their bark can be that thick, and so the fire will go by. It'll burn the outside of the bark, but it usually won't get to the actual wood. Now, the live part of the tree trunk is in between the inner side of the bark and the outer part of the wood. So here's the center of the tree. We have the tree rings, tree rings getting bigger. And as that's growing, the bark is also growing. And the layer in between the xylem and the phloem, that's the nutrients that's building the tree from that layer. So the tree is being built out. This is the center of the tree. The wood is being built out, and the bark is also being built out. So they're inching out, or millimetering out. So that's the live part of the tree. So if the bark burns, it's fine. The tree will be fine. It's a good protection. It's like having a jacket on, right? You can not have it burn your skin. You're fine. If it gets to the part, if it burns through all of the bark, it's still going to be okay. The tree will still live, because it has this all the way around. It can communicate to the roots and the top of the tree, and bring those nutrients and water back and forth. There is a point at which the tree is going to get super weak, and that could potentially result in a health detriment to the tree. But so that's why if you want to kill a tree, you girdle a tree. It's called girdling, where you cut all the way around through the bark, because that's literally cutting off supply between the root and the leaves. And you don't have that, then that's not going to survive. So I don't know if I answered the question, but ask again if I didn't. Fire ecology time. Yeah, so trees specifically are in a fire prone area. Trees are have adapted to have thicker barks. They've also adapted just to react in different ways. So there's some plants, some trees, and also a lot of shrubs like manzanita. It will resprout. So it's fine. It's burning back all the way down to the ground, and it will resprout and be like, "Hi, I'm a bush again. This is all new growth." And there's lots of things that do that. And there's even flowers and herbs and stuff that their seed coats need fire. They need that heat so it melts the seed coat. Like sometimes there's a resin around the outside of the seed or something, has to melt that to get it be able to germinate. And so that can be important. um Redwood trees, like coast redwoods, they require bare ground to self-propagate. So if they coast redwoods, I don't know if you know, it's one of the tallest trees, but the cones are this big and the seeds are even smaller. And the seeds, when they send out a root, it doesn't have all the extra hairs on it to like send everywhere. It has one taproot that goes down. So it already has to meet the ground. It's not strong enough to go through a lot of duff. So they do require bare ground for that. I know that is for that specific species. I don't know all the species, but so yeah, fire's not bad. It's just bad for houses. And the way we've managed the forest for the past 100 years or so. I don't know if I answered your question. Let me know if I did or didn't. Howie says, "Good night, fellow Earthlings. Great live stream, Katrina. Awesome. Go enjoy your pizza. You're welcome." All right. Adam says, "I have 2 arborist companies saved in my phone for all my chip and wood for winter heating. It's amazing what a $40 tip does for the crew delivering it." Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Keep them in good graces, right? Steve says, "Before I knew how to make compost, I had a hole in my yard. I used to fill it with grass clippings from the yard, just green, and saw it smoking more than once." Yeah, you need to add that brown, and things can get hot. Things can definitely get hot. Um, and that's actually something that comes up every once in a while where people, if they cut their grass while it's moist and then pile up the cuttings, clippings, I guess, it can start a fire. Yeah. So that's why the moisture has to be just right. So that's also why, um, if you're haying, and I don't know much about this, but I do know this. If you're haying, and you rake it into the rows, and it's in a row now, you have to test the moisture. Some people test it with their hands, some people test it with a moisture meter, but you have to test the moisture before you bale it, because if you bale it too wet, it can spontaneously combust and burn your barn down. So that's a really good point to make, Steve. My dad says it saves them from paying to take it to the dump. Also, when we have trees removed here, they are glad to leave the chips when we ask them. Yep. Yep. And the high desert has a totally different system. So here we talk a lot about mycorrhizae. We talk a lot about the fungal network and all of that. In the high desert and the desert as well, there is something called, I'm going to look it up. I want to call it cyanobacteria crust. I'm not saying it right. Cyanobacteria crust. I guess it is cyanobacteria crust, or biological soil crust, is a living surface layer on soil and in arid regions, mainly composed mainly of cyanobacteria, which is blue-green algae, and also lichens, mosses, fungi, and other microbes that act as a natural glue, binding soil particles to prevent erosion, add nutrients like fixed nitrogen, retain water, and create a foundation for desert plant life. Though they are extremely fragile and easily destroyed by foot traffic. So that's why if you go to these desert, like if you go to these desert locations, they say stay on the trail. It's because that very full of life crust, and it literally is like the surface of the soil is just like covered in tiny, tiny things. Can be destroyed very quickly, and it takes a long time for them to recover. So if you are out and about in the high desert or in a desert and it's dry and there's like a crust and you step and you're like, wow, that was a really good footprint, like there's nothing moving, it's because of the cyanobacteria crust. Anyway, there you go. Random fact. My dad says our neighbor had a smoldering / burning grass clipping fire years ago. Is that the guy that was that a few years ago? I don't remember that one. Was that the one that was over on like that almost got to you guys? Yeah. Adam says the cambium layer on trees is amazing. Yeah, it's a couple. The live part is a couple, cells thick. That's all that's there. When you're grafting, you gotta line up the couple cells of the cambium. So yeah, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Erica says, I knew someone who burned down their barn by stacking moist hay in it. That's got to be terrible. It's got to be terrible. That's all I can say. I have to learn hay. I have hayed before one summer, and all I did was rake, drive the tractor with the raker on it, and helped, deliver hay and stuff. So I was not the person making the decisions, and I have a little bit of experience. Steve says that's probably what happened to cause the Chicago fire. They blamed a cow. Oh my goodness. Oh, it was next door. I don't know that I heard about that. You called the fire department. I don't remember hearing about that. You keep it secret? Super secret? Yeah, these things can happen. These things can happen. Yeah. I would say luckily the fire department here is about a mile away. It is volunteer. I think we might be paying one person. Anyway, it is volunteer, but they do a good job. I did call them, it was before Thanksgiving, because there was a fire. I could see, I think it was in one of my weekend reviews. But yeah, there's a fire I could see across, and it ended up being a slash pile that the loggers didn't call it in. You're supposed to call it in and say, hey, I'm going to be doing a fire, on my slash. And they didn't. It wasn't on anybody's map. So, yeah. But yeah, fire is interesting, for sure. Rhoda says, sometimes your parents' mind is so full of different things they may not remember to tell you unless it's something that triggers a memory. Fire next door, pretty significant, right? Oh boy. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the wood chips can play a really important role, and I expect that role will be it will be replacing a role that doesn't currently fully exist here. There's a lot of bare soil here, and so I think having wood chips on the ground, covering the ground, will be a benefit, for sure, for the food forest area. So I still need to I need to call Tree Place. I still haven't done that. I have some electrical stuff that needs to happen before then. So yeah, if anybody knows people in either of those categories, let me know. Here. Yeah. But I do plan on doing that, and I'm thinking I'll probably do a lot of the cutting myself that's not near power lines, not near the house, because I can fell a tree. It's been a while since I fell a tree, but I can definitely do it, and I have a chainsaw, so Yeah. And I do think keeping a lot of that on the site, on the area. Um, part of permaculture, which I kind of go in and out of like talking about, um, is to not move nutrients off your site. So to use all the nutrients on in an area. And I really like the idea of that. And so permaculture is a great thing. It has a probably different definition, but basically, if you are growing your food systems in a way that is easily accessible, easy to maintain, smartly is a word now. I just said it. Smartly planned out. um, it's planned out so that you're close to this and you're further, like you're closer to your vegetable garden than you are your orchard. You're going to go there more often than your orchard or whatever. um and stuff like that. So I kind of tend to go away from that word, just because what I tend to do roughly is similar to that, but I also um I also tend to do things that make sense to me, which isn't always what makes sense to the rest of the world. So there you go. All right. Brenda says, if you're planning on felling trees, make sure you have someone with you just in case. Yeah, I have to have a system. I'm going to have a system probably worked out with a neighbor or something. I'm not to that point yet. No. Steve, no. Adam says, cyanobacteria is a beast powerhouse. Sorry, not sorry. I'm nerdy on microbiology. Microbiology. Yeah, no, it's so cyanobacteria it does take deserts take more carbon out of the air than you would think. So we all think of trees as taking the carbon out of the air. All plants basically take carbon out of the air. That's why if you talk to them or sing to them, they're doing quite well. We have the frequency of our voice, but we also have the the carbon dioxide that's coming out of our mouths. Our waste is feeding them, and their waste of oxygen is feeding us right back. Right. So go out and talk to your plants. Both of you will do well. um, we talk about trees, we talk about forests and all that, and they do take a lot of the carbon out of the air. But grasses take a tremendous amount out of the air, especially if you are um, building up the soil. If it's laid down and building up the soil, animals are trampling it in and urinating on it, and making basically a duff layer. But not thick enough for the tree for the grass to not go through. And then that is really, really great. But deserts that support cyanobacteria also have a very large role in carbon sequestration, which is pretty darn cool. So there's your little tidbit. I am a wildlife biologist, and I am a biologist, ecologist. So there you go. Sue says, so I don't have to talk to my tomatoes, just blow on them. Sure. I mean, it's kind of like where spanking your tomatoes comes from. What? Have you guys heard that before? All that is making them strong. You can put a fan on them, it'll do the same thing, but some people just go like this, and here's the stem, they just go like this, and it's like, oh, okay, it's getting used to movement. That's all it is. Yeah, you could sing. Steve, you could sing. Oh, not after eating garlic? I think you probably have the same amount of CO2 coming out of you after eating garlic. Um, what's the thing you're not supposed to plant with garlic? Is it potatoes? Is that it? You like a little garlic with your tomatoes? Yeah. I think it's potatoes that you're supposed to avoid planting by your garlic. Yeah, just love garlic. Exactly. Exactly. Garlic is a good one. And if you haven't planted yours, so you can probably still plant it, right? Just do it. There are a lot of different kinds of garlic too. There's soft neck and hard neck, and those are categories, not kinds. um, soft neck is what you usually see in the store in the US. And then the hard neck it grows in northern climates, which we're a part of here, I think. I don't know where that line is actually. But that's where you can get the scapes from. And so that's, and you're supposed to cut them off and you can use them. You can use them in pesto, you can use them whatever you want. Sue says if I sang to my plants, they'd uproot and move to my neighbors. Spreading joy. It's all you're doing, spreading joy. Rita says, just let out that hot air because it's full of CO2. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I think it's important to be around your plants and all that. I mean, people say the most important thing in your garden is your shadow. I disagree. That's probably your second most important thing. Your first most important thing is your automatic water system. But your shadow is pretty valuable too, especially on a hot day. No, and there's a lot of plants. Yes, they're really cousins. Yeah, yeah. Verna and Steve are cousins. Uh, the question was for my dad. Yeah, and there are plants that take other things out of the air besides oxygen, not besides oxygen, besides CO2. Spider plants take a whole bunch of stuff out. I have some starts in a bowl over there that I got from a friend of mine. Um, you can get all sorts of toxic chemicals out of the air. I don't know how well they're. I don't know how many plants you have to get it all out of the air, but there's a lot of house plants that are historically house plants, and I don't know why they are house plants, or if all plants that could be grown as house plants have these values, and we just haven't measured them because they're not house plants. Maybe, but there's all sorts of plants that take random stuff out of the air that you breathe. Um, like formaldehyde. That's fun. Um, there's other plants too that clean up. That we call them bio bioremediation, and that can happen with things like, so if there's heavy metals in the soil, planting sunflowers will take that out of the soil. What you do to the sunflowers, I don't know. That's always the thing that it's like, oh, what do you do? My dad saying good night. Good night. Thanks for coming. Verna says snake plants take a lot of pollution out of your house, even formaldehyde. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Everybody saying good night to my dad. Um, yeah, they do some pretty amazing things. I'm just wondering if the studies have only been done on houseplants because they're houseplants, right? There's other things that, like I said, do bioremediation. There's mushrooms that do bioremediation. Like I said, sunflowers take heavy metals out of soils. There's other things that, like, heavy metal's not going to go anywhere because it's like an element, right? But there are some pollutants that the plants will actually denature, and that you'd be able to compost those plants. I don't know what you do with the sunflowers, like I said. But there's all sorts of plants that work on bioremediation, and mushrooms as well. So um, that's a fascinating field. That's a fascinating field. Because you can clean up a lot of junk with plants, with nature. So pretty cool. Anyway, man, we're getting all over science-y today. If you want to talk non-science stuff, go ahead and introduce a discussion topic. or continue on the sciencey path and introduces a discussion topic there too. I think that's going to be our discussion topic. I was going to talk about rabbits, but I talked about that at the beginning. So yeah. Okay. Verna says, so if you burn store-bought candles, make sure you have a snake plant. Many scented candles give off formaldehyde. Yeah. I absolutely love the smell of that. It doesn't smell like cinnamon. I don't know why we call it cinnamon, but cinnamon, you know what I'm talking about? Like the cinnamon pine cones. I love the smell of that. And I used to get them for the house, and then I found out how bad it was for you, so now I don't. But I take a big sniff when I go in the store. Like a little bit here. Um, I don't remember what was bad about them, but it's not most fragrances are not the greatest thing for you. So hold on to your essential oil fragrances, uh, and you'll be better. Even with essential oils, sometimes you can have too much of that too. But yeah, that is a good point with the candles. And there's other things it gives off too. Some of them don't give off. Like if it's a beeswax or a soy, I think maybe doesn't. Yeah. Adam says bioremediation is a carrot hole, a carrot hole as well. I spend enough money on soil microbiology. Adam, tell us what you've done. Tell us what you've done, because that sounds like a story. That sounds like a story. So things I put into the soil, when I'm doing gardening, which I will also be doing for the food forest, things I put into the soil that help it or can help it include azomite, which is a rock dust. There are other types of rock dust that are, I'm not even going to say just as good. They're different. All of them are different because they have different sources and they have different micronutrients in there. You can add kelp will also have different micronutrients. And then you can go for your rock phosphate, your guano, your blood meal, fish meal, bone meal, whatever. You can go for all of that. Or when you process your rabbits and you have red water to deal with, you pour that over there. Worm castings, exactly. Worm castings, rabbit poo, along with that, the other cold manures, rabbit, goat, alpaca, llama, sheep. Any more cold manures we know about out there? Yeah, and that can all go, into your garden, and it's pretty cool. Verta says sometimes it's what they make the wicks out of. That is true. Camel. I am probably not going to get a camel. Llama is more likely than camel. I need to talk with my neighbors that have llamas. I think I've told you guys that before. I have 2 neighbors on the street that have llamas as a guard animal. And I need to know why they chose llama instead of donkey. Because that's something I want to know. Anyway, yeah, so there's lots of things you can put in there, but I do put also mycorrhizae into my garden beds. You can buy all sorts of different kinds and whatever. And when I do a transplant, I'll just pat some of the powder. I like the powder better than the granules. Why? I don't know. Does it do a better job? I don't know. But I'll just pat a little bit on the transplant, put it in there, and when it comes into contact with water, it kind of wakes it up. And when you start a garden bed, it will take 3 to 5 years for it to mature. So you can add some of these things every year. The rock dust, they thought it took a season before it breaks down enough for the plants to be useful to plants. And now, at least with azomite, they're finding that it actually is good in the same season, later that season. It's breaking down enough. By breaking down enough, I mean this is literally the dust of rocks. Your plants do not eat the dust of rocks. Your plants eat what everybody else eats, their poo, right? So your plants are going after the nutrients of the leavings, the frass, the poo, the whatever of insects and of little microbes and all that stuff. It has to be turned from rock into something that's digestible, quote unquote, by the plants before it can be taken up into the plant and then it gets into you. So adding things like azomite over time, like some now, some later, whatever, is good. Yeah. Verna says llama scat is considered cool manure, meaning it's rich in nutrients but doesn't burn plants like hot manure. Okay. Like cows or horses when applied fresh. Okay. Well, if I do have a llama, I will not be collecting its poo. It will just be out in the pasture. I'm not planning on collecting llama poo. Steve says a decision of a llama or donkey can be based on the type of predator they have. Yeah, and that's what I don't know. I have not researched enough into that. I do, however, know that these two people have had their llamas for a very long time. And I know at least one of those people have had goats taken by mountain lion in the past before llama. So, yeah. If you have a donkey, it is hot scat. Sounds like a music, scat music. You can scat, just do random things, say random stuff. Anyway, I'm sure there's two separate what are they called? Like language things, like Greek and Italian are not the same, but they're both in scientific language. Anyway, there we go. All right, Adam. Steve says they say donkey jennies females are better protectors than jacks males. Well, if they're mama, they're gonna roll that thing. I have seen a pronghorn antelope. They're not antelope, guys. This is the United States. Antelope are not in this country. Pronghorn, I've seen a pronghorn roll a coyote. So they're like deer sized, right? Yeah, I've seen one roll a coyote. I've seen a donkey roll a coyote. Yeah. So the predators out here, yeah, sure, foxes, coyotes, but mountain lion and bear, and the occasional rare potential for a wolf is here. So there you go. Yeah, I also should probably find out what my direct neighbor's llama's gender is, and whether, if I do get one, whether I should get the same or different. Because that could be a mistake for both the properties, right? Oh, man. Yeah. Anyway, we're going random today, guys. We're going so random. For bears, dogs are better for protection. I don't know why, but I don't think I would get a livestock guardian dog. Mostly because, probably mostly because right now the livestock that I have is rabbits and maybe chickens in the future, and they will all be in their little thingies. And I would like to have some goats, but again, I don't know if I'm going to have them long, or if I don't know if they're going to be like here for the long haul or here for the short haul, or maybe a couple steers. So anyway, I feel like I don't know. I feel differently with a dog. I don't know why I feel that way. But yeah, dogs are good for protection. I will have a dog eventually. Yes, here as a companion, right? But my direct neighbors have 4 dogs. So I believe I could be, well, they don't have them out in the pasture or anything, but I could be within the realm of most of the time the predator is not choosing to be here, except when they grab a deer off the road, which, by the way, there is another roadkill deer, but it's down almost a mile that way. And I was like, all right, we'll see how long it's there. Yeah. Erica says, my dog is good at dealing with small predators. Awesome. Awesome. My kitties are good at dealing with tiny, they're not predators, but good with the chickens. Good. What is her name again? I don't remember. I remember Lucas's name, but I know that's not who you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to say again, in case anybody hopped on, that we have the membership, which there's a link right below in the description of all the videos, really, and a link below, or a button below that says join. And it says that okay. Yes, Erica, I can help you. I was just checking your message before we got off. I can help you. And actually, I have the ginger snap recipe open because that's what I'm going to make this week. I don't know if you want to use my recipe or your recipe. But yes, I'll help with that. I totally lost track because I just realized that she told me that she messaged me, and I'm like, I better find out what it was about. Oh, Sheila. That's right. That's right. She's also good at keeping the coyotes away because she is a coyote herself. So she is very territorial. That makes sense. Yes, Katrina's Kit. So there's a Facebook group called Katrina's Kits. Kits, Sow and Tare. But you need to join the channel first and then let me know your so that's the Facebook group I just put up. Then let me know your if your name differs on Facebook and YouTube, then let me know what your YouTube name is, because that's the only thing I know. I don't know people's emails or anything, which I really wish they would give us your email since you're a member, and I could email you guys directly, but there you go. Oh my gosh, Adam said, gotta run. My phone is dying, and 2:30 a.m. wake up is coming early. Oh my gosh, that is super early. Well, thank you for coming on and uncreepifying, talking. Yeah. So thank you for doing that. Yeah, I would love to know what you're doing with the micro stuff. Oh, if you guys want to know more about like micro stuff that you might not know, Boogie Brew, that's the name of it. They have a really great, like you can get Boogie Brew tea, like not to drink yourself, but for your plants, and it does really well. Yeah. Erica, okay, I'll post the one for the ginger cookies that I have. It's an easy recipe, and I will have already made some, so I haven't made them in actually a few years. Yeah, the ones with molasses, right? Yeah, this is one with molasses. Bow tie. Oh yeah, I was on the Urban Gardener channel on Saturday, and Mr. Bowtie was on before me. So check that out if you'd like. The Urban Gardener. He's actually the Urban Gardener. The channel Enoch. Is an hour south of me, and so we're in a fairly similar place. And yeah, Bowtie was in Hawaii showing us a little bit of stuff there. All right. One more night here, then you head home. Well, have a good flight. It sounds like you're having a great time. Great time. Yeah, I was. Oh my gosh, Steve, you're fast. You're fast. Thank you. Adam says, "Oh, now you show up, Dave. When my phone is dying. Okay, I'll swap to my tablet." Oh, Mr. Bowtie made it worth it, huh? Yeah. So Bowtie's in Hawaii and having a blast. Looks like isn't something volcanoing right now? Erupting. That's the word I'm looking for. Isn't something? I mean, I know like Hawaii's always erupting, right? But isn't there something going on right now with Hawaii? You stick around and endure. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Um, yeah, Hawaii is a totally different thing. Like um, oh my gosh, what was his channel name? I used to follow someone who was in Fremont and then he moved to Hawaii somewhere. And he was talking about dealing with the soil in Hawaii and how you really have to get a place with soil because the soil of Hawaii is lava, was lava at one time. Um, yeah. Oh, it erupted a week ago, last Saturday for a day. Were you there for it? A glutton for punishment. Oh, your day's 5 days later, and it was just a steam. How sad. I mean, if you go to a volcano, you expect to see it erupt, right? Anybody know the movie Joe versus the Volcano? We do not need to go on a tangent. It's an old movie. Bowtie hiked all over the volcano Thursday of last week and did a live from the top. Awesome. Oh, Adam says it's Dave's fault that Washington is flooding thanks to the Pineapple Express. That's pushing it a little too much. Oh my gosh. Great day. Had amazing a private guide. Okay. Amazing. Awesome. Well, the only thing I can say about Hawaii right now is that January 1st is when Biker Dave, which is clean Hawaii seed, clean seed Hawaii, something like that. If you just look up biker dude, not Dave, biker dude in Hawaii, you'll get the right website. Their ginger and turmeric, and they usually have I never say this right, gongol. They go on sale on the 1st of January. So if you're looking at getting any of those, I've ordered from them in the past and they have some really cool varieties. Hopefully they'll have more varieties than what's on their website right now. But yeah, January. Erica says Mauna Kea is always doing something. All right. Oh, no, bow tie. You were aiming for Adam's house. Did it hit you yet? No, we get it. Thank you, Steve. Steve put the link. Hawaiian organic ginger. Okay. It hit Washington is what it hit. And we're getting stuff coming in on Thursday. I think probably Adam will get stuff in on Thursday too. Got rain today. Here at least. Yeah. Yeah, and Adam says it started at 2 p.m. today. We aren't getting as bad in Washington. Washington, like the whole state, is in the state of emergency. It's the western part that got hit, and they're going to get hit again with this next storm too. But I think this next atmospheric river is mostly going to be Oregon. So, yeah, it's supposed to hit my parents in Central Oregon. Something's supposed to hit them. I think he said, did he say tomorrow or Wednesday? I don't remember. Off by a state, pretty good shot for 2,000 miles away. Okay. And where are you going home to? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Mountains of Washington is supposed to get 5 feet of snow. Well, see, the thing is, they weren't getting snow. That was the problem. They were getting rain. And so it's like a super duper big deal that that's turning to snow this week. Later this week, I think, is when it's turning to snow, right? Because snow stays there and the ground is oversaturated, right? Yeah. Yeah, they're getting flooding. They're getting more flooding, higher flooding, like record, higher than they've ever seen in a lot of areas. Yeah. Uh-oh. Bowtie says Mauna Kea was visible for the live stream in the morning, then spent the rest of the day gone in fog. The day we're there. Yeah, the flooding is very terrible, very scary. It's so for those that might not know, there are I don't know how many landslides, but there's a couple of I don't know if I think it's on a couple different highways, but I may be mistaken that there might be a few landslides on the same highway. But at least one highway is shut off and is going to be shut off for who knows until when. And then the rest of it, like there's some landslides, and that's a concern. It's a concern because they're already full, and then with like the water, there is no place for the water to go in. And then with this next storm, we're going to get wind. And if you already have saturated soil and you have the trees moving in the wind, what happens is you have an increased potential for landslides. Now, luckily, we just have wind coming. Not we just have wind. Luckily, we are not saturated here. Our soil is already wet because it has been raining just a little bit. And that's good because when rain hasn't happened for a while, it acts like it's raining on a sponge. If you've ever taken a super dry sponge and put it underneath the water on a faucet, it takes a while before it actually gets wet. It actually has a repelling effect until it like, okay, we're going to take in the water. And that's what it does is it just goes off of the land until it gets enough that it starts soaking in. So we are in an advantage right now in that we have water that has already soaked into the soil, but it's not saturated. So hopefully that will be good for Oregon at least. Yeah. Or my area of Oregon. Verna says, good news. I will be able to shut off my cold water faucet tomorrow. Oh, Verna. Good. Good. Does that mean it's supposed to warm up? So I believe what Verna is saying is that you have a drippy faucet because you don't want your pipes to freeze, right? I'm guessing that's what it is. For those who don't know or maybe not live in a cold climate, if it gets super, super cold, and she says it's going to be, -1 tonight, it's a very good idea. Well, you should insulate your pipes anyway. I mean, she's renting, so it's a different situation. But you should insulate your pipes anyway. But you should, if it's super cold, turn on your cold water so that it drips and the water's moving. Moving water doesn't freeze. So much like the Mississippi River, where there's bends in the river, that's where the bald eagles come in the winter because that water doesn't freeze in that faster water there. It doesn't freeze. So moving water doesn't freeze, and so you're keeping that water moving. And if you're also in that situation, open your cupboards underneath the sink as well. And that will make sure that the warmth from your living area can get to at least the pipe. So that'll be extra good there. So everybody cross your fingers for Verna. All right. Steve says, we just emptied the lake here. We can handle a little flood now. Was it in prep of a storm coming? Oh boy. Erica says, yep, she likes to play peekaboo. Who likes to play peekaboo? Did I miss something? I may have missed something. All right. Bowtie says, with the snow coming on top of that, it is going to be a messy cleanup in the spring. The thing is, though, if it all comes in rain right now, it doesn't, number one, it doesn't necessarily mean it's filling up the underground reservoirs. Number two, the above ground reservoirs keep getting emptied to support more rain coming in. So it depends where you end, how much water you have in your reservoir. And then the third thing is when you have water that falls as water, not as snow, it goes into the ocean. And you have water that falls as snow, it stays as snow and it stays for an extended period of time. And that is where a lot of the water comes from with the snow melt in summer, not spring. In summer, that's where that comes from. And that can provide water to either recharge the aquifers underground or as drinking water as it because it flows down. So snow is important to the areas that have like mountains. Yeah. Oh, Mauna Kea. Like, okay. Like big peekaboo. Got it. Got it. Okay. Bowtie says, apparently we had 31 degrees back in Destin, Florida this morning. That is cold there. I guess the tomatoes will be done by the time we get there. Probably. Probably. Yep. Oh, Vernon, it's going to be close to 40 tomorrow. You're going to be out there in tank top and shorts. Mauna Kea volcano, please peekaboo. Got it. Adam says, my mother lives in Kent, Washington. Thankfully, she's up high, and she's the one that taught me how to preserve food so she can wait for the waters to drain. Exactly. That now is not the time to go out. Now is not the time to go sightseeing. Yeah. Yep. And, I have I have a couple playlists, but I think there's one playlist that's says food preservation. It has all sorts of different stuff in there. And then there's individual playlists with freeze drying and canning. And I don't know if I have a dehydrating playlist or not. Probably not. But yeah, that is good. Good to know. Good skill to have. Also good to check your seals. I had a situation where I trusted 4Jars. 4Jars is a brand that I will never buy from again. I love my Harvest Guard, which I believe to be probably very similar to Tatler. I know I've not had Tatler. It's a reusable lid, Harvest Guard, and the gaskets that go with it are reusable to a point. They eventually go bad, but you can use them many times. Ball and Kerr are the same company. Pur, I think there might be 2 R's. I believe is also the same company. All of those are good. There are bad canning lids and there are bad canning jars that, hey, fine for dry storage, but yeah, I know what I trust. I know what I trust. And man, they're expensive right now. But I have a bunch of backups, and I just got more a couple months ago from someone. So yeah. Okay. Steve says, we empty the lake every fall, just open the dam and send it south. Got it, Steve. All right. Verna's taking Lucy out. Happy cold walk for you. Yeah, Adam. Sometimes I don't read Steve's stuff out loud. Oh my God. It doesn't count? Okay. Okay. Verna might be back. It's pretty cold. She says it's supposed to be -1. Steve says, my jar lids say ball, or I don't have any lids. Yeah. Yeah. So ball is ball, Kerr, and Purr, Purr, are all the same company, and they have all the same everything. So like they're all reliable. Ball is Ball has their own test, like their own serious testing. So their recipes I'm fine with following. The USDA also has, not also, they're primarily, right, has their testing and that's the National Center for Home Food Preservation. And that is what I follow. And then secondarily, ball recipes. If it's an older ball recipe, look up maybe a newer one, because some of the old recipes that call for like, like thickenings. So cornstarch and stuff like that, and pie fillings, you're not supposed to do that anymore. Adam's laughing at something. I don't know what. Anyway, but yeah, I agree with you to stick with what you know. What I like about Harvest Guard, and there is a learning curve, so if you do get them, make sure you watch my videos, or we can talk through it on a video. That's always good to do. Maybe I'll do that soon, just to kind of show you guys the difference. But they're good because they're reusable, so you don't need to go out and buy new lids every year. You can just use the ones you have and have some spare gaskets. So it's a 2-piece lid. It has, instead of having metal with the gummy, which the gummy they have reduced on the ball lids, you have a it's a food safe plastic. I don't remember what it's made of. I used to know what it's made of. I don't remember anymore. But yeah, Harvest Guard. Yep. But it's that, and then there's I think it's a rubber gasket. I don't know. It's not silicone. It's hard. It's a hard plastic. Let's see. Harvest Guard. What is it made of? Let's see what we can find. BPA and phthalate free. PHTH. Phthalate free, and made from a food grade plastic known as acetyl copolymer, designed to withstand temperatures well beyond what you're going to use. Okay, that's what the lids are made out of. Yeah, and what Steve put on there is, I guess, what the gaskets are made out of. Okay. Bowtie says, one by accident and one on purpose. They cancel each other out. What is the lid that's supposed to be reusable more than farmers uses them? I use Harvest Guard. Tatler is the other one. I believe they're the same thing, different companies. When I was researching it, it was a toss-up, and Harvest Guard had a sale that was better. That's the reason why I picked between Harvest Guard and Tatler. I believe they're the same thing. They look the same. Yeah. But I like Harvest Guard. I like their customer service. They are good people so far. And I really like their product. I tried 4 jars because so many people that do a lot of canning on YouTube were just so excited about it. I'm like, I just need to see what this product is. And I bought more than I should. And I have 3 separate canner loads of rabbit that a significant amount out of each of the canner lids, the seal failed not on the first day, but later on, which is even more troubling. If it didn't seal the first day, oh, what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? But the fact that it's sealed and then it's not, it comes unsealed, like, that's a concern for me. And I've not had that issue, maybe 1 or 2 jars, and it was probably not because of the lid at that point for Harvest Guard. Yeah, I've not had that issue with them, or ball, or cur, or purr. I don't see purr anymore here. I think it's an ace. I think Ace carries it, and I think there is an Ace nearby, but I don't remember where. You just call it silicone. You call it whatever you want. And Steve will call it rubber. Yep. Yep. How do you feed your rabbit after you seal them in a jar? You know, pressure's on. I don't know if that was funny or not, but there you go. Oh. Put a jar of canned carrots next to them. So I've canned carrots, and they're okay. I'm not a fan of cooked carrots though. Like if it's in a soup with other things, I think it's fine. There are so many people that go crazy over like honey glazed carrots, and I'm just like, why would you do that to honey or the carrot? Yeah, but for a soup, like I think it's fine to do, but I don't think I'll can carrots again. The only reason why I can carrots is because I had never done it, and for some reason I know the reason. During COVID, my ex's kids would get their lunch from school, and they would get these little packets of mini carrots, which all mini carrots are shaved down big carrots. Marketing, huh? Um, and they wouldn't eat them. And so we were collecting this immense amount of carrots. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to can some jars. I only can like, I don't know, 3 or 4 jars. And I don't need to. Bowtie would rather ferment your carrots if you're storing them. I have never okay. I have fermented one thing, and it was nasty. It was lacto fermentation. And it was nasty. I lacto fermented a bunch, and I really wish I had just like experimented instead of did a bunch, because actual thing was good. But a bunch of what are they called? Okay, the name that's coming to my brain is not the real name, and it's called fartichoke. Sunchokes. Yeah, so sunchokes. That those are good. You do need to wean yourself into it. But I lacto fermented them, and they were just very, very salty. I couldn't eat them. Like I mean, even after rinsing, it was Jerusalem artichokes. Thank you. That is the one I was looking for, and sunchoke is the one that I got. Yeah. Steve says I like 10 pounds of carrots with my 1 pound pot roast. See, and I think those are like the worst carrots are the ones that are cooked with they're always like I don't know. My experience with that kind of thing is like the outside is mush and the inside is like a different texture. Anyway, there you go. Bowtie says, actually, I stored carrots in the fridge for a year for my last harvest, and they did just fine. Yep, root vegetables can store. Yeah, same thing with, I actually have parsnips in the refrigerator that I found when I was cleaning out my old refrigerator there last year. So I will make potage bonvolet, which is a navy bean and parsnip and potato soup that's very good, and you blend it all up. It's super yummy. Yeah, tasted fresh. It felt fresh to the end of the supply. Yep. Yeah, Jerusalem artichokes, which you do not want to plant in an area that they can escape from, because they will. But they're good. And honestly, they're good survival food if you plant them somewhere that you hopefully won't super spread. And people won't even know that they're there. Bowtie says, I like sunchokes, fermented, roasted, griddled. You name it, sunchoke does not affect blood sugar levels for diabetics. They are great, excellent survival food. Oh, you know what I got that I totally forgot about that I'm probably going to have after we get off here? Jicama. 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 Does everybody know what jicama is here? Do I need to get out and show it? I'm going to get one out and show it, just because. Excellent survival food. So this is a jicama. It is a root vegetable. That is how you spell it. It obviously was growing up against something. But it is white inside. What is a jicama? Yep, jicama with a J. With a J. A jicama, it's a poisonous plant that you can eat the root of if you peel it. The beans are poisonous. The seeds are poisonous. I'm pretty sure the plant is poisonous, but the root's delicious. I grew a jicama one year years ago. I don't know why I haven't grown it since, but it is absolutely delicious and nutritious and good for you. And do not buy the ones that are waxed because you can have wax covering it and it's hiding stuff, right? And do not buy the pre-cut ones. This is something that you want to cut and eat pretty much right away. If it dries out, the flavor goes away, but it's also very good for you. Yeah. David the Good does jicama, I think. Yeah, jicama can actually be grown. So I grew it in a raised bed with, what did I have with it? Peppers? I grew it the year I thought I grew it the year that I thought the sweet potatoes were gone because I thought I got to all of them. Never think that again. Always plant sweet potatoes where you don't mind having them. So I had sweet potatoes and jicama in the same bed, and then I had peppers growing out of it. So it tastes like dirt. It does not. What does it taste like? Should I cut it open? It takes. It's not like sweet, but it has some sweet to it. It's really good. You made so Adam says you made my Google app open, Katrina, when you did your jicama repeat. My jicama repeat. Jicama. I don't know what you're talking about. Is jicama your password or something? Um, People say that about beets, but I don't think so. No. It's not. It's not earthy. It's not earthy. It's refreshing. And should I open it? Let me go cut a piece. Sorry, I got. Ooh, you guys almost fell over. I got excited because I forgot I had this. Yeah, if you open it, it'll dry out. You'll have to eat it. Well, you can like just don't cut it up into sticks. Like they have it. It's the white thing on trays. Like if you have trays of like pre-prepared, carrot sticks and celery sticks and broccoli and white things that are like sticks. That's this. Don't know why they do it because they just dry out and they're not good that like that. But yeah. Bochai said I had a traumatizing event with beets as a child. It ruined beets for me for life. Uh-oh. Did you not remember you had them when you went to the bathroom later? Oh my gosh. So this is my favorite peeler. They are not sponsoring me or anything. I just like it. But you do definitely want to peel it. And it's fibrous. It has some good fiber to it. When I grew it myself, it was such a different experience than from the store. Because in the store it still loses moisture, but when you have it fresh, the skin was so easy to peel, and it was so good. It was much more flavorful fresh than in the store, which anything in your garden is, right? All right, let me do one more here. This one's pretty fibrous. It's a little dried out, I think, but I don't know where they grow it. I can look on the sticker and find out. Mexico. What? Product of Mexico, Anaheim, California, USA. These are conflicting informations. So that's what it looks like on the inside. It's just white. That's what the slice looks like. So you can see it's fibrous, but it's, crisp. There we go. It just looks like white to you guys, doesn't it? There you go. And crunchy. Something's happening outside. What's going on? What's going on?
There's bird through my fence.
What's going on?
There's bird through my fence.
Oh, okay. I need to call. Okay, guys, I need to call the police. I'll talk to you guys later.